Hi, family. Thank you for watching part 1 of the beginning of Enslaved People. Everything you about to see, every image, every word, is based on historical truth. So raw, so painful, that even OpenAI censored me. That's right. I tried to show you what really happened, and they blocked it. Meanwhile, lies and hate spread online every day, untouched. Sometimes it feels like we're right back in the Jim Crow era. History watered down, truth whitewashed, our ancestors erased. But I won't stop, because they didn't stop. If this moved you, share it. Stand with us. Part 2 is coming. Before America, there was the boat. The ancient world had slaves, Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. But what came next was something far darker. Transatlantic slave trade. Portugal was the first to buy and sell African lives. Then came Spain. Oh yeah, the God's chosen ones, or so they thought. Spain and Portugal opened the gates, but the Dutch, the British, and the French, they turned slavery into an international business, a global economy built on black and brown suffering. Slavery didn't begin in the U.S. It began in the Caribbean because of sugarcane. 1492, when that lying thief Columbus stepped onto the islands, our nightmare began. Over 12 million Africans were trafficked through the Atlantic. Millions died before they even reached land. Their bodies fed the ocean, but their souls still cry out. These Africans weren't criminals, not prisoners of war. They were stolen from their homes. They called us heathens, said we had no soul. They held Bibles in one hand and whips in the other. They didn't just steal bodies, they wrote it into law. Black skin became a crime, our blood became business. Spain and Portugal enslaved Africans and indigenous people across Mexico, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. They used the cross like a whip, baptized us while chaining us, told us to obey, while they raped, beat, and sold our people. They didn't follow Jesus, they followed power. Brazil alone received over 4 million enslaved Africans, more than any other country in the world. They didn't just build plantations, they built an empire on our backs. They worked us to the bone, sunup to sundown. No rest, no rights, no mercy. If you slowed down, you were whipped. If you resisted, you were killed. This was more than labor. It was torture with profit. In 1519, in Mexico, enslaved Africans escaped. They intermarried with indigenous people, and together they created a new identity, the Afro-Mexican community. Black and brown unity began centuries ago. Yeah, for those who don't like black people in the Mexican community, they're part of your ancestral history. Check your history, and stop bringing shame to our indigenous ancestors because they were enslaved too. Black and brown were enslaved together. Same ships, same chains, same screams. The system didn't care where we came from, only how much we could produce before we died. The Caribbean enslaved people by the millions. It wasn't just a stop in the trade, it was one of the most brutal places in the entire transatlantic slave trade. Cane fields, iron collars, death without burial. That was the Caribbean's legacy. This is where black resistance was fierce, revolutionary. Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, come to the front. You might learn something today. Between the 1500s and 1800s, they trafficked millions of Africans, not just to the U.S., but to the islands, Saint Domingue, Jamaica, Barbados, Cuba, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, blood in every wave, bones in every shore. Yes, y'all heard it. This is where our African culture comes from. Africans were shipped to the Caribbean before they ever reached the U.S. The rhythm, the food, the fight, it all began on the islands. The Caribbean wasn't paradise, it was a death camp. Some of the highest death rates in the entire slave trade, all because of sugar. Our people died from exhaustion, disease, beatings, and nobody buried them. Enslaved people were forced to work 16 to 18 hours a day, under the blazing sun. No shoes, no rights, no mercy. If your foot gave out, you bled. If your body gave out, you died. And they kept counting profits like nothing happened. Know this, for all of you pushing division between black and brown people, the colonizers didn't care. They worked our people to death, because it was cheaper to buy new slaves than to keep us alive. We were never seen as human, just replaceable. Know this, for all of you pushing division between black and brown people, the colonizers didn't care. They worked our people to death, because it was cheaper to buy new slaves than to keep us alive. We were never seen as human, just replaceable. Torture was a common thing. Whipping, amputation, branding. Women were raped regularly. Even children weren't spared. This wasn't just slavery. It was a system built on pain, fear, and domination. On some islands, Africans outnumbered whites 10 to 1, and that scared the hell out of the colonizers. So they doubled down. More violence, more torture, more control, because fear of revolt meant terror for our people. This was only the beginning. They stole our names, they crushed our languages, they tried to erase us with sugar, chains, and fire. But we're still here. And now, we're telling the story they tried to bury. Please hit the like, subscribe, and follow to join our movement.